I have a phone in my hallway. It is an old phone. It has a cord that curls around like a spring. Most people use cell phones now. They carry the world in their pockets. But I kept this old phone. I kept it plugged into the wall. I kept it polished and clean. I kept it because it was the only number my son, David, knew by heart. For 1,460 days, that phone did not ring, not for me. Sometimes a telemarketer would call. Sometimes it was a wrong number. But the voice I wanted to hear, the voice that used to call out, "Mommy," when he scraped his knee, that voice was silent. People tell you that silence is peaceful. They say, "Oh, Martha, you must enjoy the quiet now that the house is empty." They think silence is a luxury, but they are wrong. When you are a mother and your children have walked away, silence is not peace. Silence is a heavy blanket. It covers you until you can barely breathe. I remember the last thing David said to me. It wasn't, "I love you." It wasn't, "Goodbye." He stood in my doorway, his face red with anger. His wife, Linda, was waiting in the car. He looked at me, the woman who taught him to walk, the woman who held him when his father died, and he said, "You are just too much work, Mom. We need space. Don't call us. We will call you." I nodded. I didn't cry. Not then. I just nodded and said, "Okay, David, I will be here." I closed the door. I locked it. And then I sat on the floor and I waited. I waited for 4 years. And today, I want to tell you what happens when you wait. I want to tell you about the pain, the long nights, and the moment the silence finally broke. David was a good boy. That is important for you to know. He was not born angry. He was not born distant. When he was little, he followed me everywhere. If I was in the garden, he was right there with me, digging in the dirt with his small plastic shovel. If I was in the kitchen, he sat on the counter, swinging his legs, waiting to lick the spoon. He was my shadow, and I was his whole world. Then life changed. My husband, Frank, passed away when David was only 12. One day we were a family of 3. The next day it was just the 2 of us. It felt like everything collapsed at once. But we didn't fall apart. We held each other up, David and I, every single day. I worked 2 jobs after that. I cleaned houses in the mornings. I washed dishes at a diner at night. I was tired all the time, but I didn't mind. I wanted David to have choices. I wanted him to go to college. I wanted him to live a life where he never had to worry about bills the way I did. And he did. He grew up. He went to university. He built a career. He wore suits that cost more than my old car. I didn't understand his work, but I was proud. At the grocery store, I would smile and say, "My son works in the city." That was enough for me. But as he grew bigger, I slowly felt myself getting smaller. Then David married Linda. She was different from me, very organized, very modern. I tried to welcome her. I really did. But when they came to visit, I felt nervous. I worried about small things, the food, the house, saying the wrong thing. I began to feel like a guest in my own home. Little by little, things changed. They stopped coming on Sundays. Then holidays passed without them. They spent more time with her family. They said it was closer. They said it was easier. I nodded and said I understood. I told myself this was normal. Children grow up. They build new lives. Parents are supposed to step back. But I didn't know how far they would step. I didn't know that one day they would forget how to come back. The trouble started with the house. This house is not big. It is not fancy. But it holds all my memories. Frank is in these walls. David's childhood is in the scratches on the floorboards. One afternoon, David came over alone. He didn't sit down. He paced around the living room. He looked at the ceiling. He looked at the windows. "Mom," he said,
"This place is falling apart. It's too big for you. It's a money pit." I smiled. "It's my home, David. I can manage." "Linda and I think you should sell it," he said. His voice was cold. "Sell it, give us the money to invest for you, and you can move into that assisted living facility across town. It's better for everyone." I felt a cold shiver go down my back. "Assisted living? David, I am 68. I am not an invalid. I tend my own garden. I drive my own car." "You're being stubborn," he snapped. "We are trying to help you. We need the equity, Mom. Linda has a business idea. We could use the money." There it was, the truth. I looked at my son. I saw the stress in his eyes. I saw that he was living above his means. But this was my safety. This was my home. "No, David," I said softly. "I will not sell the house." He stopped pacing. He looked at me like I was a stranger, like I was an enemy. "Fine," he said. "If you want to be selfish, be selfish.
"But don't expect us to keep running over here to check on you. We have our own lives." That was the last time he sat in my living room. A few weeks later, my birthday came. I baked a cake, a lemon cake, his favorite. I thought, surely he will call. Even if he is mad, he will call. I sat by the phone. The morning passed. The afternoon passed. The sun went down. At 10 p.m., I picked up the phone to check if the line was dead. I heard the dial tone. "Hello? Hello?" The line worked. They just didn't want to use it. I blew out the candles. I put the cake in the fridge. And I went to bed. The first year was the hardest. Every time the phone rang, my heart would jump. I would run to the hallway, my hands shaking. I would pick it up and say, "Hello?" with so much hope. "Hello, ma'am, we are calling about your car warranty." "Hello, would you like to switch your electric provider?" Every time I would hang up, and the house would feel quieter than before. I started to wonder if I was dead. Maybe I had died and no one noticed. I walked through the grocery store and people looked through me. I went to church and I sat in the back. I wrote letters. Oh, I wrote so many letters. "Dear David, I hope you are eating well. Dear David, the roses are beautiful this year. Dear David, I forgive you. Please come home." But I never mailed them. I put them in a shoebox under my bed. I was afraid. I was afraid he would send them back unopened. That would break me. I heard news through the neighbors. Small towns are like that. Mrs. Gable told me she saw David at the mall. She told me Linda was pregnant. A baby. I was going to be a grandmother. I cried for 3 days. I knitted a yellow blanket. It was soft as a cloud. I wrapped it in white paper. I drove to the post office. I stood in line. But when I got to the counter, I couldn't do it. What if they threw it in the trash? What if my love was garbage to them? I took the blanket home. I put it in the cedar chest at the foot of my bed. "I will wait," I whispered to the empty room. They said they would call. I have to trust them. 2 years passed, then 3, then 4. I got older. My knees hurt when it rained. I needed help opening the jars of pasta sauce, but I didn't ask anyone. I learned to use a rubber grip. I learned to be alone. I stopped looking at the phone. It became just a piece of furniture, a black plastic box that held nothing but silence. It was a Tuesday, a rainy, gray Tuesday. I was making tea. The house was cold. I was feeling very tired that day. Not sleepy tired, soul tired. I sat down in my chair with my tea. I looked at the phone. Why? I asked it out loud. Why was I not enough? And then I jumped. The tea spilled a little on my saucer. I stared at it. Ring, ring. My heart started to hammer in my chest. Boom, boom, boom. Who would call on a Tuesday night? Is it a scammer? Is it an emergency? Ring, ring. I stood up. My legs felt heavy. I walked to the hallway. The sound was so loud, it echoed in the empty house. I reached out my hand. My fingers were trembling. I picked up the receiver. Hello? My voice sounded rusty. I hadn't spoken to anyone in 2 days. Silence. Then a small sound. A breath. A sniffle. Mom? The world stopped. The rain stopped. The clock stopped. It was him. David? I whispered. Mom. His voice cracked. He was crying. My big, strong businessman's son was crying. I'm here, David. I'm here. Mom, can I come home? I didn't ask why. I didn't ask, what about Linda? I didn't ask, why did you wait 4 years? I didn't say, I told you so. A mother does not keep score. A mother keeps the door open. Yes, I said. Come home. The porch light is on. He arrived 20 minutes later. He was alone. He looked older. He looked thinner. His fancy suit was wrinkled. He didn't have an umbrella. He walked up the steps, soaking wet. He looked at me. He looked at my gray hair. He looked at the wrinkles that hadn't been there 4 years ago. He fell to his knees on my porch. I'm sorry, he sobbed. He buried his face in his hands. I'm so sorry, Mom. I lost everything. Linda left. The business failed. I lost the house. I have nowhere. I have nothing. He looked up at me, ashamed. I was horrible to you. I don't deserve to be here. I knelt down on the cold concrete. I didn't care about my knees. I pulled his head onto my shoulder, just like when he was a little boy. You are not nothing, I told him. You are my son. But I hurt you. He cried. I left you alone. Yes, I said. You did. And it hurt. But you are here now. I helped him up. I brought him inside. The house wasn't silent anymore. It was filled with the sound of us. I heated up soup. I made him tea. He told me everything. How he chased money and lost himself. How Linda didn't want a failure, so she took the child and left. He told me he drove past my house 100 times, but was too ashamed to stop. I thought you would hate me, he said. I sat down across from him. I reached across the table and took his hand. David, I said, look at me. He looked up. His eyes were red. A mother's love is not a bank account, I said. It does not run out. You cannot spend it all. It is always there. Even when you are wrong, even when you are lost. He squeezed my hand. I missed you, Mom. I missed you too, I said. That was 6 months ago. David is still here. He sleeps in his old room. He is helping me fix the roof. He is painting the fence. We are planting a vegetable garden together. He is slowly rebuilding his life. He sees his daughter on weekends. Next week, she is coming to visit me. I finally get to give her the yellow blanket. The phone doesn't ring much anymore, but that is okay, because the people I love are within reach. Sometimes, late at night, I look at that phone in the hallway. I look at it and I forgive it for the years of silence. Life is full of seasons. There are seasons of planting and seasons of harvest. But there are also seasons of winter, cold, dark, and lonely. If you are in a winter right now, if you are waiting by a silent phone, if you are waiting for an apology that hasn't come, please don't let your heart turn to ice. Keep the porch light on. Keep the soup warm. Because people make mistakes. Children lose their way. But love is the lighthouse that guides them back home. I never asked for an apology. I only asked for my son, and I got him back. And that is enough.